The state of Oklahoma will allow the Catholic Church to set up an online charter school using public tax dollars, but the legal fight over this decision is just getting underway.
The entire nation is watching this decision because it could lead to a U.S. Supreme Court case that could permanently define or change how the First Amendment is applied nationwide.
New at 5, Fox 23's Rick Marinon is live in Oklahoma City. He's the only Tulsa-based reporter who spoke with both sides and saw this vote for himself. Rick.
There was already political theater with this, and then there were even more fireworks afterwards, but it is expected that this was just step one in leading all the way up to a possible Supreme Court case. By a vote of 3-2, the split Oklahoma Virtual Charter School Board approved the application for the Catholic Church to use Oklahoma taxpayer funds to set up America's first religious charter school.
Our application, we've got a lot of great opportunities ahead of us, and so we're looking forward to taking advantage of those.
Brett Farley with the Catholic Conference of Oklahoma says the board understood that the Catholic Church has been educating children through vouchers, tax credits, and grants in other states for years, and the application to do so, this time online, is no different.
And as you all have seen over the last couple of weeks with the new school choice programs in the state, we think this is just an extension of what we've been doing in Oklahoma, which is providing more opportunities for education for kids that need it.
A presenter for the Diocese of Oklahoma City and Tulsa said the church would be able to serve more students outside of what they would now if they had access to public funds. The church laid out its amended application after the last one was deemed too exclusionary to special needs students.
There are dire consequences to this board if it goes forward with this, and those dire consequences are a taxpayer lawsuit.
Opponents said the application violates separation of church and state and the Oklahoma State Constitution's provisions that state taxpayer funds cannot be used for sectarian purposes. Opponents and 2 board members, including Chairman Dr. Robert Franklin, said the requirements that students be Catholic despite all faiths paying into it is not what the state had in mind when developing charter schools.
The Archdiocese lobbyist, he reminded me in a sidebar conversation that this is just part of the process. You're just part of the process. We intend for this to go to the court. And what I'm saying is, if that was the case, then we were role players and that we should have followed the role that was within our purview. And I think some stepped outside of that purview today.
Franklin said he was told early on by a lobbyist for the Catholic Church that he and the board were guinea pigs in an experiment to get the U.S. Supreme Court to chip away at the wall separating church and state. Most of the members on the U.S. Supreme Court are Catholic. The chairman then resigned his seat and vowed to find ways to fight what he called corruption in the state's education system that is out for money and not students and teachers. He then issued a final warning about St. Isidore's structure, saying the state opened itself up to a scandal that would be worse than epic charter schools.
We just stepped right back into a trap. We just stepped right back into a trap door. A nonprofit, the Archdiocese, the Catholic Church, I have absolute ultimate respect in what they aspire to do. But in regard to good governance and good separation of powers, it does not align.
The Catholic Church said in response to, are you open for open records, open meetings, and audits? They said yes, but they did say there could be some religious exceptions to those requests. On Fox 23 News at 6 o'clock, I will lay out why Dr. Franklin, who you just heard from in that story, says today's vote was rigged. I'll break down his allegations in the next hour. Live covering news that matters, I'm Rick Marinon on Fox 23 News.